I am Robin Murray. I'm a psychiatrist and I work at the Institute of Psychiatry, King's College in London. And today I'm going to be answering some questions from Google about psychosis. So psychosis is really just a posh name that psychiatrists use for people who hear voices or see things or have bizarre ideas. So it's hallucinations on the one hand and delusions, strange beliefs that nobody else will agree with. The commonest type are hearing voices. And the hearing voices are usually nasty. People don't come to me saying, I hear voices and it's my mum's voice and she's saying, oh, you're really doing well, or keep going. They hear voices which are really nasty saying, you're an evil person, you've let everybody down, why don't you kill yourself? Things like that, very distressing voices. And of course, people don't know where they come from. They may look around and they may try and find, is there some kind of broadcasting system, or is it telepathy? Or is it the CIA who is doing this to me? So voices particularly, but people can also see things. They can have visual hallucinations, or they can have tactile, they can have touch hallucinations as well. So hallucinations are very characteristic of psychosis, and the other one is having strange, bizarre ideas. So that's the two characteristics of psychosis. There is not a single one cause of psychosis, but there are different causes. And one of the environmental causes is childhood trauma. So people who have been abused as a child, either physically or sexually or severely neglected, have a greater risk of developing psychosis. Well, to be fair, they have a greater risk of developing any psychiatric disorder because childhood adversity is not good for anyone. You might have a picture in your mind of a madman with a hatchet. The tabloids tend to emphasize the fact that sometimes people with psychosis can be violent, but it's very unusual. And it really only occurs in people who not only are psychotic, but are also taking drugs or alcohol. If you take somebody who has schizophrenia, for example, they are much more likely to be attacked in the street than to attack anybody. There is a small increase in the risk of people with psychosis being dangerous, but it's really when it's mixed with alcohol and or drugs, not for people that have ordinary psychosis. No, psychosis is not permanent, not necessarily. It's quite possible to have an acute psychosis which comes very suddenly and goes away. So, for example, if you take lots of methamphetamine, or if you take a spice, which is a synthetic cannabinoid, you can suddenly go psychotic and you can be hallucinated and deluded for 2 or 3 days, and then it can disappear and you can go back to normal. Other people, it can last for 3 months and then go away. But in many cases, that many of the people that I see, they have psychosis which lasts longer, and we can help that with medication or psychological treatment. Having a psychotic episode is disturbing and distressing, but it's not the end of the world. People who come to see us with their first episode of psychosis, with medication and with psychological treatment, nearly 90% of them will get better within a few months. So it's something we can do a lot for, and the outlook is much better than it used to be. We have a range of psychological treatments and we have a range of medications. And of course, the other thing is we have to see what was it that triggered it. So having an episode like that is not the end of the world. And another a very common reason, of course, currently is taking drugs, taking amphetamine or high potency cannabis. And if one stops doing this, then the outlook can be pretty good.